Is that the San Antonio real estate market crashing all around me? We're going to find out. I'll tackle that question and a few others, and we'll let you know, is this a market where sellers are gaining value? Are they holding their own? Or is the bottom falling out? That's really the question of the day in late May of 2024 as we approach the mid-year market for 2024 in the San Antonio real estate market. So what am I seeing? I'm seeing forecasts early in the year that we predicted this market might be a little bit challenging. If I look at articles from the San Antonio Express News, there were predictions that sales in general might be down 10% and prices off somewhere around 4 or 5%. So has that expectation been met? When I look at the data from places like Realtor.com and from Redfin, what I'm seeing is sales are down a little bit, probably 3 or 4% in gross volume, and we're also seeing prices come off about 3% to the median. The median sales price was about $334,000 at the end of last year. It's down to about $300,000. Now, median is a tricky indicator because it's the midpoint on where things sell, but again, the trend line shows that we're seeing reductions in prices. When I looked at the San Antonio Board of Realtors and their monthly data, what I saw for the last month, in the month of April, it was reported, is homes are taking about 79 days to sell. That's up about 7% from last year, so that's showing a slowing market, but the price is holding steady at about $181 a square foot on average. That's off about 2%. We're seeing that there's a 4.5 month supply of inventory. What does that mean? It means if we didn't add any new homes to the inventory here in San Antonio, how long would it take to sell what we've got? At 4.5 months, that's starting to lean towards the buyer. We're not there yet, but definitely things have moved from a strong seller's market 2 years ago to leaning and tilting towards the buyer. A matter of fact, if you look at sites like Redfin and they do a competitive analysis, they will show that they're, and Rocket Mortgage is another one, that we're essentially in a neutral market. What do I think the trend lines are for the balance of 2024? Well, the number one tell-all, gang, is going to be the Fed. We thought that early in the year they would drop the interest rates a little bit as inflation cooled off. That didn't happen. From an inflation standpoint, things were sticky and interest rates did not come down. However, by mid-year, the Fed is telegraphing they think they've beaten inflation, that they've held the line, and that we're going to probably see some rate cuts in the second half of 2024. If that happens, I think the market firms up. So we've seen some give back. For sellers that bought their homes a few years ago, they saw a great run up in appreciation, maybe in 30% in many cases if you owned the home 3 or 4 years ago. We've given back, let's say 3%, maybe 4%, we're being generous, but net, you're still ahead of things. And if we see interest rates drop and market demand picks up, I think we've seen the floor. So keep an eye on the inflation forecast. Hopefully they keep trending down. That will directly impact interest rates. And when interest rates start to fall, which I think they're going to do the second half of 2024, I predict that we're going to see some buyer demand pick up. Are there things we can do to deal with that here and now as a realtor and as a buyer in this current climate? Absolutely. A lot of people are going to builders for new home construction, and the builders are pretty smart people. They're dropping interest rates down in the range of 5% on average to attract new buyers. So they're taking promotional money and they're putting it towards that discounted interest rate to get people to write contracts. We're seeing new home build sales be up about 17% this year. I think that's going to continue as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag. If you're a seller, it's still decent. It's not as great as it used to be. If you're a buyer, there's some more choices, but not many as you probably like. The interest rates are still a challenge, but there's ways to work around that. If you want more helpful information like that, like and subscribe, and we'll go ahead and get you the info. Thanks and have a great one.